Streaming live across the country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Hey everyone, so glad you could join us on this Wednesday for Newsfeed Now. I'm Suzanne Bruner, taking a look at the top stories people are talking about and sharing online. The coronavirus pandemic is the #1 talker right now. And on Capitol Hill, the nation's top disease experts gave Congress a grim assessment of where the U.S. stands on fighting COVID-19. Trevor Shirley reports those experts worry about what's to come as infections in many areas skyrocket.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, back on Capitol Hill, praised the efforts of some areas like New York City to slow the spread of COVID-19.
However, in other areas of the country, we're now seeing a disturbing surge of infections.
Cases have surged in more than 26 states as economies open back up. But so far, Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois have not seen major spikes.
The next couple of weeks are going to be critical in our ability to address those surgings that we're seeing.
Right now, the most powerful weapon against this disease are social distancing, face coverings, and hand hygiene.
Nursing homes remain frequent hotspots, and Illinois Democratic Representative Jan Schakowsky said officials still haven't required nursing homes to report all infections.
There's been guidance, there's been encouragement, but what about mandating?
As of May 8th now, it is a requirement that this be reported.
Dr. Fauci agreed with Ohio Republican Bill Johnson's call for expanded telehealth.
It's time for Congress to make robust access to telehealth permanent.
Lawmakers also pressed the experts on finding a vaccine.
There are several that are moving along at various paces.
Dr. Fauci said the most promising candidate starts phase 3 trials in July.
We feel cautiously optimistic.
Fauci says that means a vaccine could be ready by the end of this year or early 2021. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
All right, let's bring in Trevor right now from Washington, D.C. Trevor, thanks for joining us. So we expected that there could potentially be more cases of COVID once states started reopening, right? Of course, everyone's encouraged to wear their mask, wash their hands, sanitize their hands, but what's the plan when we start to see a huge spike? We're already starting to see it. I mean, are hospitals prepared for this?
Well, thanks for having me. And that was sort of touched on yesterday, that there really is no national plan. Obviously, the federal government is looking ahead, anticipating a second wave, but there's also the argument that the first wave really ended, that we didn't see such a precipitous drop as to say, okay, we're at least past this first wave, for lack of a better term, and we're going to see a defined lull until potentially the fall, when the experts have been fearing that we could see an uptick in cases. I mean, it's only been a few weeks since we started seeing numbers go down. The states have started to go back, started to reopen, and already in a lot of states, 26 at this point, are seeing really huge numbers of increases in cases. The experts say can't be attributed to just more testing, that there is factually showing that there is community spread that's moved beyond just more testing.
Well, speaking of testing, you know, Fauci insists we should do more testing as we start to see more cases. We touched on it briefly, but why does the president want to slow down testing?
Well, the argument that the president has made is that if you do less testing, you will have fewer confirmed cases, and then that will make your numbers look better. He threw that idea out earlier this week. The White House said that he was just saying that in jest, or he wasn't serious, and then he followed up telling reporters that no, he doesn't joke, that he was being serious about that. That being said, the experts have said previously and yesterday, the only way we're going to get this pandemic under control is if you have enough testing that you can find those asymptomatic cases, get those people who are infected but aren't feeling sick to stay home to prevent them from spreading that virus more throughout the community. And the only way to do that is expanded testing.
Who ultimately Well, actually, let's talk about the face masks, because they were talking about how maybe if this was implemented earlier, this could have lowered down the spread of COVID. But let's be real here. I think it was difficult for a lot of people to find masks and even hand sanitizers anywhere once COVID became a huge concern. But do they really believe that this could have been the case if we would have seen a change in numbers, if we would have approached this earlier?
I mean, there is the argument to be made, and initially the CDC did kind of waffle on whether or not that they recommended for people to wear masks. That was very early in the process. At least for the past several months, that's been the gold standard at this point, at least in terms of the public health approach, telling people that there is evidence that masks help stop the spread. It's not so much that masks do a great job of protecting the wearer from getting the disease, it's that they do a really good job of preventing the wearer from spreading the disease if they have it and they don't know it. They still said, Dr. Robert Redfield, director of the CDC, said yesterday, the things that people still have to be doing, wearing those masks, washing your hands frequently, and keeping the social distancing in place, even as we start to see economies opening up. And something else they really harped on was that, especially with these increase in case numbers that we're seeing, at the beginning of this, those that were mostly getting infected and getting sick were older. The average age was in the mid-60s. Now, especially in a place like Florida, the average age of new infections is, I think, 36 or 37.
Yeah, it's gone down.
Younger people get infected who may not have as difficult time with the disease, but those are the ones that are out and about, moving around. Those are going to be the people that are responsible for spreading this even further.
All right, Trevor, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Well, speaking of COVID-19, you know, it has hit the music industry hard, but as most summer tours were canceled or postponed this year, drive-in shows have become an alternative more artists are actually turning to. Brooke Reese reports from Nashville, Tennessee.
Getting music back into Music City. Country music stars like Garth Brooks and Brad Paisley are hitting the road once again, hosting drive-in concerts this summer as we continue to battle COVID-19. But one local restaurant is taking credit for the concept the music industry seems to be catching on to.
It's a good ego shot or ego boost for me. Daddy did it first.
Daddy's Dogs owner Sean Porter hosted a drive-in concert series about a month ago.
We had this big container here at the shop, and I've always had the idea of kind of doing a Beatles-esque type thing here.
Featuring all local artists Porter had worked with during his time as a road manager in Nashville.
Everyone was itching to kind of do something and give back, and we made it happen.
Since then, socially distant shows just like this have become the new normal.
It's a different experience sitting in your car, AC, listening through the radio than it is kind of feeling the energy next to somebody and being by somebody.
So fun. Growing up, you're like, one day I hope a bunch of cars honk at me.
Despite the success, Porter hopes that this alternative concert is only temporary.
It's part of who we are here, and so I think people are wanting to see something live and see music out there in some capacity, and so they're finding ways to make that happen.
With Phase 3 of the road to reopening, Nashville did clear entertainment venues to welcome music back in at half capacity. But with the crowds major artists bring in, Porter says this is the perfect option. In Nashville, Brooke Reese, News 2.
Josh in Nashville joining us now. I got to hand it to those guys. That's a pretty good idea. You know, I can only imagine how popular these events are. So tell us, what's the turnout like?
I mean, they have some really good turnout for those. They've been doing it for about a month or so now. And obviously, we're talking about bigger concerts like Garth Brooks and Brad Paisley being held elsewhere. Those are going to have even bigger turnouts. But talking about Daddy's Dogs, they've been doing this for quite a while here. Their turnout's just a little bit lower.
Yeah. So, okay, how are they managing all this? Because I'm sure everyone's trying to get a spot to check out these guys. Is it like a first come, first served basis? Are they getting tickets? Is there a waiting list?
There's no waiting list that I know of, and I'm not sure exactly how they're going about it, but I know at first they didn't have the same amount of enthusiasm from people and the number of people who wanted to take part as they do now. Now that more people are hearing about it and they're seeing, the turnout, so to speak, that they're getting, more people want to take part. So that wait list, honestly, could become a thing pretty soon.
So on the other side of the spectrum here, I'm sure there are other artists checking this out as well. They're thinking this might be a great idea. Have any other artists expressed interest in maybe doing something similar?
Yeah, like we were talking about, Garth Brooks, Brad Paisley, those kind of acts are coming together and they're doing their own version of this. Obviously, it's going to be a little bigger as far as the turnout goes because those are huge stars. So it's a little different, but it's the same type of situation. They're just on a much bigger scale. All
right. Josh, thanks so much. We appreciate it. And we do have an update we want to tell you about today. The FBI says the rope found inside NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace's garage at Talladega Superspeedway was not a hate crime. This had actually been in the stall since last fall. This is video here that was posted in November of 2019. A fan took the video during what is called the garage experience. So for an extra fee, fans are given access to the garage area where they can see crews work on cars. And this is one of the videos that was taken. Well, a source confirms the rope seen here is the same one found in the stall earlier this week. Though Through its investigation, that is, the FBI determined the noose had been in the garage since October of last year, and it was tied that way to use as a door pulley. And since Wallace was only assigned the space last week, the investigation shows whoever put it there was not targeting him. But Bubba Wallace is still speaking out about this.
I've been racing all my life. We've raced out of hundreds of garages that never had garage pools like that. So people that want to call it a garage pool and put out old videos and photos of knots being in their evidence, go ahead. But from the evidence that we have, that I have, it's a straight up noose. The FBI has stated it was a noose over and over again. NASCAR leadership has stated that it was a noose. I can confirm that. I actually got evidence of what was hanging in my garage, over my car, around my pit crew guys, to confirm that it was a noose, and never seen anything like it.
Wallace is the only black driver in NASCAR's top circuit. He has been an active supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement and advocated to ban the Confederate flag at NASCAR events. A group of drivers, pit crew members, and others walked alongside his car Monday to show their support when it was thought the noose was a racist message against him. Again, you can find those videos and pictures all throughout social media. Jimmy Kimmel has issued an apology for previously doing impressions in blackface. The late-night talk show host released a statement Tuesday acknowledging the racist impressions he has done in his career. That includes one of NBA player Karl Malone. This was back in the late 90s. While he says he didn't consider it inappropriate at the time, now he looks back at the sketches with embarrassment. Kimmel says he has evolved since that time and that he is sorry for the past impressions. NBC is pulling several episodes of the 30 Rock TV series from syndication because actors are shown in blackface. According to USA Today, executive producer Tina Fey says she apologizes for the pain they've caused. John Hamm wears dark makeup and an afro wig in an episode titled Live from Studio H. Co-star Jane Krakowski wears blackface in at least 2 episodes, and that's according to Variety. In Ohio, for a young artist, her medium of choice is chalk. Her canvas is the sidewalk. Kelly King introduces us to the teen who recreates famous characters just to put a smile on her neighbors' faces.
On one of the main drags in New Paris, a young artist is at work.
I never really painted. All I did was draw.
Leah Jonas is 15.
I thought it'd be nice to try something new.
And has turned the sidewalk into her canvas.
I have made chalk drawings on the sidewalk for the kids to basically take a break from all what's going on.
It started with Stitch and grew, bringing the most magical place on earth to East Cherry Street.
People were driving by and she'd get some people commenting saying, oh, that looks great.
She's been creating these drawings since about April, and since then she's gained a lot of attention and even taken some special requests.
She had a cop stop by and he was looking at them and he put in his request. He said he really liked that character, so he asked her to do Toothless.
Drawing attention, children have also been stopping by to get their pictures taken.
Well, she's had a lot of donations too. People just randomly stop by and bring her chalk.
Her work has even gotten her some job offers.
Some people want me to do like paintings for their walls.
While she likes the newfound recognition, she chalks it up to a love of art and spreading a little happiness up and down the street.
It used to be just my drawings for myself because that was something I liked to calm down, to just be able to do something for me, but now it feels really great to like also do it for someone else.
Wow, she is super talented. Don't those look great? Well, Leah says the feedback she's gotten has been so positive she'd like to draw something more permanent, but that would require permission from local leaders. All right, before we go, even the socially distant world of COVID-19 can't keep love from blossoming. One Minnesota couple isn't letting the pandemic keep them from tying the knot in a celebration that may mean even more to the bride's mother. Frank Vassalero has the story.
I was not expecting it at all. Hi!
For the first time in months, it was supposed to be a date night out on the town.
I was like crying in the car and out of the car, and then there was rose petals inside.
But when Maggie Erickson pulled up to St. Paul's Neighborhood Cafe on Friday, she knew this was different.
I always wanted to happen at my workplace.
Aiden Kilgannon has worked there for 3 years. The couple with Down syndrome met 7 months ago.
I thought that she was the one.
Oh, God.
Aiden told us he'd been planning every last detail since.
He just went down on the one knee and asked me. Pretty special.
But perhaps the moment meant even more to Maggie's mom. Kathy raised her as a single mother and refused to set limits on what she could do.
In our case, Maggie's developed substantial independence.
Now, in her final stages of her own fight against stage 4 pancreatic cancer, Kathy couldn't be more proud of the young woman she raised.
I just couldn't imagine not being here because I enjoy our life so much.
A fever has put Kathy back in the hospital for now. Her vow? Do all she can to be there the day her determined daughter
Follow your dreams and keep shining with your voice.
takes her walk down the aisle.
I know she's ready, and I just have to make sure I'm ready.
All right, congratulations to the lovely couple. Such a sweet story right there. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow, same time, 10:30 Central Standard Time. Have a great day, everybody.